Nicholas Gillette. Not here. Not here. Alex Jost. Nope, not here. Nico Macuro.
Don't forget we have practice tomorrow.
What we got? Who's up next? Timmy Miranda. Alex Mitko. Andrew Ochoa. Not here. Fernando Silva. Oh, wait. Flicker. Andrew Wensler. Nope, not here. Not here. Not here.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Face?
Go junior, save your senior for last. Put those off to the... Our varsity award winners in our junior class, Trevor Barsamian. Doug Bryant. Pick up top. Jake Wire. Sky Etten. Josh Gordon. Joe Kirkner. Charlie Meyer.
Sorry, we boring you.
Nicholas Miranda.
Chuck!
Michael Olazine. Drew Reitwinger. Brian Beaton. Andy Zinsmeister. Nick Zinsmeister. And Tom Borchert and Billy Wiseman. Oh, sorry. Oh, the senior sheet. All right. Without even having our seniors that all earned their varsity letters, you know, when our junior and our sophomore class, covered is not fair. It's just pretty bright. But there's a reason why I held on to our seniors. So you have to park in 4 minutes because I have to finish honoring our seniors. We started it a little bit at the Dwyer home a few months ago. The thing was, I just didn't have the right kit. Just didn't have the right kit. Those of you that have been in our program for a while know that there's always something that our kids can take out of this program that always reminds them of our program. Whether it's blank key, an hourglass, a compass, you know, there's always something. I just couldn't get it for our seniors. Bothered me and it bothered me and it bothered me. Until about last night at about 10 o'clock. And then I was scrambling. And there are a lot of things about this program that always amazes me. How hard our kids work, the amount of dedication that they're willing to put in order to be very good. But then the other things that come along with those things that are attached to our program. our booster club, and our wonderful meal. Or whether it is now our booster club offering their homes so that we can have get-together. Or whether it is donations that help us to put together a weight room. Or whether it's just that phone call, that text message to say, Coach, you're doing the right thing, you'll be all right. Don't be too down. Well, today that happened. Because as I was scrambling around, people noticed that I had these very, very unusual gifts. And maybe it was the Christmas spirit, but I would like to think that it was what people like to do for the little tiger. And as I was explaining what I was doing, these two women had tears in their eyes. And they were like, that's the sweetest thing we've ever heard. You should have them engraved. I'm like, well, I can't. I'm a last minute dude. The banquet's tonight. They're like, leave them with us. We're going to make sure that we put the names on them. So I had to call around, make sure I had everybody, because I didn't want to leave anybody out. I called Ernie as he was cutting down the tree. Called Brandon, we ran down the list, and just to make sure I had everybody. But I mean, people really did go out of their way. They stopped their work day to make sure that our kids remembered their dedication. Now, their first gift, seniors, and I know that they're not going to necessarily their first gift comes from my favorite store, so I know that they're not going to necessarily appreciate it so much. Not all of them. My first gift comes out of Barnes and Noble, and if you look in our program, I reference a Charles Dickens novel, Great Expectations, because it was kind of how our program has grown. And it talks about all the stages in which young Pip and his entire life has changed, and I read it a long time ago, so I had to go back and had to reference it again in order to do our preseason letter. But this was the very first team that we have had since I've been here that had to deal with great expectations. Those of you that have been around for a long time, remember when we used to cheer when you got a first down. We used to cheer when Vance finally caught a ball. But now it's gotten to be that people are upset with me because we didn't go to the playoffs. Those are great expectations, and I am not shying away from them at all. And that class over there was the first class to have to deal with great expectations. So their very first gift is a copy of the Dickens novel, Great Expectations. So I would like all the teams to come up and get their copy of Great Expectations in their letter. And then you have to stay here because it gets better. Come on down, come on down, come on down.
Let him, dog. Yeah. Pronto. Get that, dog. Where you book at, dog?
Come on.
Where I'm at.
All right, so this is our class of 2009. This is our senior class. And like I said, they were the first to have to deal with great expectations. But how did they have to deal with those great expectations? How did the expectations get so hard, so high? Good old-fashioned hard work. These are young people that have smashed down what it is to be a kid from Princeton or Cranberry. We are not just good students. Yes, we are good students. But this class is the first to have to deal with what was started 7 years ago. And each class has laid down a new level. But this class had to deal with, you're expected to go to the playoffs. You're expected to win 8, 9 games. You are expected to be better than any other team that's walked this hall. Part of dealing with expectations is sometimes you don't necessarily meet those expectations, and how do you handle it? And after they shed their tears, And after they licked their wounds and got over a disappointing finish, then they started to focus on very, very bright future. They knocked down walls. They knocked down and destroyed what the stereotype of a Princeton or a Cranberry kid is. So, as the class of 2009, because they destroyed what was the image of a Princeton or a Cranberry kid, it is always now going to be a part of our workout that we're going to use sledgehammer. Now, so what does that have to do with them? What are they going to get? Our seniors are going to have their own sledgehammer.
It's actually fitted to your head. Yeah.
Bring them into school is not my fault. Don't fire me. You already know. Ran through them backwards, bro. I'm sorry, stuff gets broken in the house. Dads, if you have some wood that needs to get split or something that needs to get knocked down, kids have the tools and the implements in order to do it. But that group of young people there, though, it's, you know, that song, it's hard to say goodbye. So it is very hard to say goodbye. And the way that they dealt with the expectations, the way they dealt with the pressure of this season, I thought that it was only fitting that they take something to commemorate the hard work that they put. Our outstanding offensive lineman for the freshman class, who is not here this evening, but we will make sure that we recognize him, is Fernando Silvas. Outstanding defensive lineman. This young person is probably the most laid-back individual in the room, and we are going to find a way to maximize his talents over the next 3 years. With the outstanding freshman defensive lineman, Nico McCura.
Good job, Nick. Smile. Nico.
For our freshman class, is also not here, but Eric Short. Also not here this evening, outstanding freshman offensive player, Devon Holiday Black.
Oh, yeah.
And then the outstanding defensive freshman of the year, one of my all-time favorites, and and I'm going to ride him too the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Alex Micko.
Good job, bud. We got it right here.
Who we got? What's JV?
Moving on into our junior varsity. This kid is just another epitome of hard work, and is going to become quite a special player in our program. Look forward to working with him for the next couple of years. You know, kind of walked the beat of a different path before he decided to join the football team, which is fine. You can take all comers, but has represented himself very nicely, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for this young man. Outstanding defensive lineman for the JV, Jimmy Bale.
That's why it doesn't go.
Congratulations, son.
Judgment.
You gotta work on your handshake, man. Seriously. Later, bro.
Our outstanding offensive lineman for the JV has very, very huge shoes to fill. He is going to be asked to take leadership of our offensive line and you know, take us over the top. Another one of the hardest working kids in our program, doesn't miss weight room session, is always around and is always doing everything to make himself better. Our JV Offensive Lineman of the Year, 2008 season, Charlie Myers.
Chuck.
Understand what their job is. And this young man had the task of making sure our JV team, our special teams kind of went smoothly. And is going to be asked to step up next year and not only become a leader, but to become a player in our program. The 2008 JV Special Teams Player of the Year, Luke Cardone.
You got nothing to do.
And a mohawk is not a football thing, it's a wrestling thing.
All right, bro.
Good job. What is
One of the best things about our program is that we are starting to get a number of siblings in our program. And so sibling rivalry is going to fuel this next young person who's also going to have some very huge shoes to fill next year as he attempts to become a varsity player. But the Offensive Player of the Year for our JV program, Devin Holman.
You look okay.
Like this, buddy. Way to go.
And the ongoing theme of siblings, the JV Defensive Player of the Year is a young person that is extremely dedicated to our program, and we're looking for super huge, colossal things out of him next year. And we know that we're going to get those things, because if work ethic alone is what fuels a person, then we know he's going to be right there in the mix. Our JV Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Zensmeyer.
Look at my grill, George. You're like straddling me.
Let's go.
Well, it's good.
Whether it is Pop Warner, whether it is high school, the collegiate level, any of the levels, whether it is the pro level, you do not win football games without those guys in front. yet they are the least publicized of any of the positions. So we make sure that our offense and defensive linemen know that there is something out there for them at the end of the tunnel. Our offense has grown and has become pretty special. You know, when you graduate the conference's leading scorer, and you sit back and you wonder, all right, what are we going to do? And then you look back and there are 2 running backs, 2 different styles. Your offensive line needs to be really good. And our offensive line did a heck of a job of making sure that we were at the top, if not the top, leading rushing team in the county. Just so happens though this year that our entire front line was all kids from Cranberry. And I think that becomes kind of important because a lot of times good old Cranland gets forgotten that they are a part of Princeton. And that's why I always kind of make sure that I make sure I mention Cranberry along with Princeton. So this is an award not just for a single individual, but it kind of lets a town that sometimes is forgotten to let them know that we appreciate you. And we will always appreciate you here at Princeton in this program. Near and dear to my heart, not because he's a good player, but near and dear to my heart because he is passionate about everything, his family, his friends, his future, and a fighter. Starting from the time he was a sophomore and started his very first varsity game and had to go against a kid that was all state, 6'3" and 275 pounds, and going to go get a scholarship at Rutgers. And our offensive lineman had a whopping 6 foot and 160 pounds blocked him all day. Kid only had 2 tackles the entire day. Not only will we miss his talent, but we will miss his spirit. We will miss the passion that he brought to us every single day. And we will miss that energy and that fire that he brought to our offensive line. The 2008 Outstanding Offensive Lineman of the Year, Tommy Hines.
They were up 35-14.
If you are lucky enough in your job, you get to make an impact. And for 7 years, I have got the opportunity to make impact in young people's lives. Whether it was showing them that they had a future somewhere else, or whether it was reading a book for the first time ever. I think it's kind of obvious who our defensive lineman of the year is. Young person that has completely switched any opinion that people have ever had about him. He's become a leader in our community. He started to care about school. He's going to have an opportunity to become a scholarship player as long as he stays focused. But I think the biggest switch and the biggest thing that I am so glad of is that smile that he wears just about every single day. Because he's proud of himself, he's making his family proud, and in turn they are proud to be proud of him. Our defense just wasn't the same if he wasn't there. So sure, talent is going to be missed. But the spark, the willingness to change, the willingness to be something that people didn't think you could possibly be is what our defensive lineman of the year is going to leave in this place. Our 2008 Outstanding Defensive Lineman, someone that is very close to me every single morning and almost every single night, Any other time during the day. June is going to be rough. June is going to be very rough for me. Because when you have a 255-pound shadow and all of a sudden it's not there, you miss it. Our outstanding defensive lineman for the 2008 year, Brandon Merrill. Special teams, 1/3 of the game. The third of the game that a lot of people tend to forget. The third of the game that we are not going to forget at Princeton. I'm going to let it be known right now that we are going to be creating what's called the Dirty Dozen. So for those of you that are a little bit older, that remember the old movie, The Dirty Dozen, you know what that epitomizes. Those people that are willing to do the things that no one else wants to do. Those people that are willing to sacrifice for one another. Our special teams unit is going to be comprised of that Dirty Dozen. And they've already been picked out. They're going to be a baker's dozen. There's already 13 of them that we already have picked out. Because we are going to be sound, we are going to be great at our special teams. We've already started working on it. So this trophy is going to go to the guy that is actually going to be the one that's leading that Dirty Dozen. And it kind of seems like he's always up here getting the Special Teams of the Year award. But this year he took on some added responsibilities. Decided he was going to become our kicker and our punter. Shocked us all. So much so that he starts to go online and look up stuff and starts coming in with different techniques and trying stuff. And that's not all that we're going to have in store for him, because he's going to probably be one of our starting linebackers. But he's also going to lead the Dirty Dozen as well. So the 2008 Special Teams Player of the Year, once again, Brian B.
Did you bring a speech for this one this year? This year.
Before we go on to football stuff, want to take time to talk about those things that make football pretty good. Also, in memoriam of Tommy Johnson, who was a huge supporter of ours, we started the Tommy Johnson Spirit Award. Okay. For those of you that didn't know Mr. Johnson, he could easily be recognized by the way he was in the back, reading his newspapers during the team breakfasts at the firehouse, and then we would switch. He'd always get the Times, and I'd pick up the Trentonian, and then we would switch. But all the little tiny things, you know, you make a phone call, you need this, it automatically would show up. He would go and stand off by himself to go watch TR play. You know, never really made too much noise. And one of the things before he passed that we talked about was the fact that he was like, you know, I was going to send TR to Petty. You know, we were looking at prep schools, but it's like, I like what you did for my son. So after he passed, we started the Tommy Johnson Spirit Award, so that we recognize the spirit that comes into our program. The spirit of sacrifice and dedication and hard work and being a good person. Those are the things that more important than winning football games, that we have to make sure that we recognize. And that's what Mr. Johnson and Tommy Johnson Spirit Award means to me. Those other things that put you over the top. This year's recipient endured great hardships, had to overcome a lot. More importantly, he had to overcome himself. Had to start to be confident in himself. And when he did, boy, it's a beautiful thing. One of our leaders, one of our captains, and a young man with a super, super bright future. The 2008 Tommy Johnson Spirit Award goes to not only a young man, but also to his family. Family that teaches him how to care. And above all else, be himself. And that you have to respect. I'm very glad that I had the opportunity to be able to coach this young man. I'm even more thrilled about watching him grow up in his future. But the 2008 Tommy Johnson Spirit Award goes to our philosopher, Connor Ryan.
Yunner.
Offensive Player of the Year. Where do we go? You go with the kid that threw 1,300 yards. You go with the receiver that approached 40 yards on 1 foot. You go with either one of the running backs that would any team would love to have.
On 1 foot?
Maybe it's one of our offensive linemen. The best thing about this award is it's about a unit. It's about everybody working together. It's about everybody doing their job, as the Wednesday night film folks know. Bright futures and hard work and dedication, those are all great. But there's sometimes that there are things that you just can't coach. And sometimes you just go, that was great. Our 2008 Offensive Player of the Year had a lot of that. And we're going to see more of it. Because he's dedicating himself to be better. And we can't wait to see it. Our 2008 Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Gordon.
Must be running back.
You know, in years past, these names have gone to our upperclassmen and our departing seniors. And this year was just kind of hard to knock what our juniors are bringing to us. If you had to work so hard to get a kid, not because he was unwilling, because there were just other factors, then that epitomizes this kid. I had to be the greatest salesman in the world. I had to go and sit down with his folks. Come on, let him play. You won't get hurt, I promise. First year player, turned around and led the CBC in interceptions. It's the first time that we've ever had it in our program. Once again, a member of our very tight, very talented, and hopefully very special junior class, 2008 Defensive Player of the Year, and CBC leader in interceptions, and all CBC in all areas. Our Tiger Award. Our Tiger Award not only goes to a kid that is a pretty good football player, but you know, it's all about the intangibles. We've had some pretty special kids walk away with this award. pretty special. Whether it was you and the team, or Doc alone. This award goes for that kid that you don't ever want to be without. And you just hate it. You hate it when graduation calls. And this year's Tiger Award winner is even harder because I'm saying goodbye not only to a really talented football player, but I'm saying goodbye to a family. I'm saying goodbye to that tradition within the tradition. And when you have a kid that, you know, will fight you and be upset and call you and tell you, I don't like you right now, I don't like what you did. And then he turns around and 2 years later he's waiting for you at 6:30 in the morning to watch film when nobody else is around. When he sacrifices being a part of other programs because they're going to stop him from his dream of being a football player in college. To be able to be a smart enough football player to have 3 of the last 4 conference rushing leaders happen because he was just that damn good. Our Tiger Award winner, legacy. And